Hello survivors, and welcome to another video. In today's video, as you can see, we are playing another silly Saturday. We have 6 cave bears in our arsenal, and this was inspired by the video that Gamesmithing released yesterday. It was on summons, talking about all of them, and I just thought about it, you know, cave bears actually buff you, so why not buff our character as well as all the other bears using the bears? So what they do is they increase your damage modifier by an additional 10% and your maximum HP by 15%. Now this is supposed to be per bear from what I understand it, and because we have quite a lot of them, we're gonna see what happens. So we got to check our damage modifier is on 80%. We are gonna see how it works when we go through into the overlord cycle, and how many you know, what our actual damage calculation goes up to. We are on all of our bears right now, and we went up to 220%. So that was 140% increased, 140 increased damage just from our bears, and we also went up to 685 life over there. So 270 damage. And it's just insane. And as you can see, the bears also get the buffs, so as long as they're all next to each other, they are completely buffing all of each other up. The only problem is the buff doesn't last too long, but we have plenty of the bears. We also have quite a lot of area of effect just to help get them to buff them a lot. You know, they don't have to be so close to each other to buff. So we did work on a little bit of area of effect for that, and that just helps it so that the buff hits us, or hits the bears and us wherever we are on the map. Now we did also add a single of each of the negative effects. I don't think we've actually picked up a doom yet. No, we have. Just so that we can get the negative effects going, just so they have that little bit of extra damage. The bears do have innate bleeding in them, so you don't have to grab bleed. It does make sense though, because you can actually go scent of blood with them if you did want to, and wanted to have them have like this insane amount of cast frequency. So you could go for, you know, scent of blood bleed bears. It would work because they do innately bleed on hit. So I decided, no, let's add a little bit more of every other negative effect in the game, just so that we have that little bit of extra damage to deal with the bosses in our overlord cycles as well as throughout the match. Now over there, unfortunately, we had an exploding goblin land up hitting us into one of the boss's attacks, and that's why we took so much damage over there. So a little bit of an unlucky you know, occurrence over there, but it happens, so it's not the end of the world. We will be on a decent amount of life anyway, to not really have to worry about that. The only thing we have to worry about is you know, what's the word I'm trying to think of, the enemies that come and run after us because they aren't taunted by our bears, and then also the collateral damage from enemies that may be targeting the bears, and because we run past like we did earlier and we get exploded bombs on us, we get hit into those attacks. So we do just need to be careful of that, but otherwise everything else, we are in a very good spot. Now I do already have a burn, so we're not really going to worry about those. We can actually reroll here, get a bit more cast frequency going, more AoE, more movement speed, and then we're going to look for other things that are there. We don't need the damage increase, so a bit of armor is going to be very good. Another dash is always fantastic. We already have bleed, but just more bleed makes it that much better. And then we're going to work on some more crits until we get to at least over 100%, so that we are critting like bosses. And then the other thing is also movement speed. It does affect the bears as well. If you do go watch Gamesmithing's video, they do explain quite a good amount about summons. So if you do have any questions or anything like that, the link will be down in the description. You can go take that quick video, good looking, just to learn a little bit more about them. Otherwise you can just ask me, and I should be able to assist you with any questions about summons and minions, or summons and everything about them. So yeah, alright, let's keep going. I don't know what upgrades, I mean, there's nothing really to get in particular for them. Obviously having your summon upgrades are going to be the best things for them. movement speed's going to help them move a lot faster. We do have the slow 2 fragility, so increasing the amount of slow stacks that we apply per attack is going to help us hit the fragility soft cap in the game a lot faster, which means that we're going to ramp up our damage a lot faster, especially on all of these bosses. It's going to help kill them that little bit more faster. You can see they all have a 5 million HP. We do want to try and get rid of that HP as quickly as humanly possible. And you can see the Plague Bearer going down very, very quickly. I am happy that that is one of the bosses that the bears decided to focus on, because the Plague Bearer does put down a lot of negative effects for us to have to worry about. So the fact that we don't have to worry about those negative effects is fantastic. Also, a lot of bears out at the moment, so a lot of damage being dished out, especially if they do use their roar, and we are in a safe place in terms of you know, them tanking the bosses for us. So a very, very tanky build in terms of HP. You could go for a lot of armor to make yourself even tankier, or block chance, and then there's also the aggro, so you are pretty safe for the majority of the run. Again, just iterating that you don't want to go and take on any of those, you know, being collateral damage against any of the enemies. Now, multicast is very good. It affects both them being summoned as well as the attacks that they do. So the the minions or the summons attacks can multicast, so they will attack twice like we would be able to with any of our skills, or multiple times. So multicast mastery is very good here as well, and it also helps us summon more than one of the bears at a time if more than one of them die at any given time. So we can have a maximum of 4 on some of them. It's usually 2, but we have received some epic upgrades like this one over here, which is fantastic, and they just allow us to get even more. Now, we've already got 2 hypothermia. I don't think we need more. We are going to go for the multicast over there. Having 2 hypothermia with the amount that slow actually gets applied, with it being 40% chance, that means it is a very, very high chance that we're already hitting a lot with fragility. So we don't necessarily need to get more than 2 or 3 stacks. I've got 2. I'm happy with that. I wanted that multicast instead, so that's exactly what I went for. Now, we are actually in the Whispering Woods. It is a pretty difficult map because of the new enemies and things like that put into it. So we can't expect to kill things very, very quickly, although that's exactly what we want to do. But we do have to just be wary that the elite here are stronger than, like, let's say the Frozen Wastelands and or the Dungeons of Despair. So if you are picking a map, the last 2 maps are actually a lot easier in terms of enemies. But if you're talking about easy map in terms of what's around you to stop you from dashing and things like that, the Caves of Del Zog is the best map to play on. So depending on how you feel, if you want easier enemies, then the Frozen Wastelands and the Dungeon of Despair. But if you want more freedom of movement, then the Caves of Del Zog will be better. The Whispering Lands, the Whispering Woods, sorry, like we're on right now, isn't actually that bad. There is quite a lot of movement ability, if you want to say that. The ableness of being able to move. Wow, that's a tongue twister. I don't even know if I'm making sense anymore. But, you know, just having that freedom of movement, that's a much better way of putting it, is a lot easier on this map compared to some of the others. So very good for a random map for us to get, especially when we have so much happening and we're waiting for our bears to kill things. Now, it is actually very nice to go for the cast frequency over here, because the bears are going to summon a lot faster as well. And we just landed up getting our first Impending Doom, which is fantastic. Like I did mention in the beginning, we do have 1 stack of Doom being caused, so we might want to get a little bit more Fateful Strikes, just so we are able to apply even more Doom to the enemies, and therefore, you know, being able to crit more because of the day stacks because of Impending Doom now. So let's see what happens. I think getting 1 or 2 more Fateful Strikes, even Touch of Ice, is a pretty good one to stack now. But you can see the bears are killing quite a lot of enemies, but just not fast enough for the bosses. and we've already spawned the next set of bosses. It's not really a problem, they are just summons. We do have to just kind of run around and hope to not get hit by collateral damage, and we should be in a very good spot. So we've already killed one of the other bosses. I don't know why the bears aren't focusing on the Incarnation of Fire, but they really should get their head into the game and go for him. But killing the other ones like the Eternal Guardian and the Chaos Bringer are actually good options. So I'm happy that they didn't kill the Incarnation of Fire in some way or another, but at the same time they just need to kill him already. This round of bosses went a lot faster. You can see they're already dead. We've only got the Incarnation of Ice, and they are busy whacking him real hard right now, so that is fantastic. There we go, boss down, and now they can start clearing out a lot of the enemies around us. So we're in a very good spot. We are on the last boss fight, and unfortunately even if you increase the damage of the bears, you aren't able to increase the actual buff amount that you get. So even though their damage gets increased, you cannot change how their buff damage works. It will only be an additional 10% damage and increased 15 max HP. So do keep that in mind when you are playing with it. Don't expect them to increase the base damage or buff that they give you. It would be way too strong then, even if we did something like this, especially if we did something like this where we stack them, and then it's going to be even stronger once we find out what the Beastmaster Ascension is and the skill tree with the new update coming very, very soon. When is the update coming? We have no idea. There's still a lot of testing to be done and bug fixes that none of us really know about. So, you know, just keep our heads high and hope and pray that it comes within a very, very short time. Alright, so let's go. We got 2 more levels. This is a bit of a slower build for a silly Saturday. It is still very, very silly because we are just using bears as our main damage and only damage, and just the fact that they buff the heck out of us. I mean, we're on half life and we're on like 300 HP, 317 HP when we get all of their buffs. They do have the buff up right now, so hopefully they can land up doing quite a decent amount of damage to the bosses. We also did land up getting 2 additional dashes, so we are in a very safe space in terms of just dashing away from things or into things. You know, I sometimes dash into danger, and that's just stupid. Like there, we actually dashed into that. Even though we did see it coming, we still dashed into it because that's just how I am. Sometimes I like to dash into danger and to get my life taken away from me because I'm so clever. Alright, so let's see what we got. We can go, we don't actually need that. We do fragility and bleed already, so we can grab more doom and another doom stack. That's just going to make it like a the coup d'etat, or the yeah, the coup d'etat, you know, that last flavored moment of the run where that extra bit of dazed is going to make a big difference and just help us kill things a lot faster. But we have so many towers on the screen, there are so many bosses and just so much happening that we need to dodge and be secure and safe about. Prophetess is dying, so her Kamehameha beam there, she was about to use it, no longer available for attacking us, and we now need to go and focus on these other bosses. What we could actually do is just like try and stand over here. We do have one of the bears on the boss now, that you can see the boss's life starting to go down more and more and more. So we did lose a life over there, not such a big deal. We still got 1 more life, as well as another life. I mean, we've got this life that we have right now, and then another life after that as well, and only the Eternal Guardian left, and he should die within the next couple of seconds. So very, very, very strong build, very safe as well, especially for newer characters if you want to learn how to dodge a lot. I mean, you can see over here we just got to, oops, that was the perfect example of why you need to dodge if you're new to the game, and how to dodge. You know, you get these unexpected attacks happening on you. Oh, that was funny. We just got bombarded by the elites. Come on, bears, do your job. There we go. Fantastic. So it took a little bit of time. Again, another 11 minutes. Not the fastest, but very, very fun and very interesting to see that they actually do that. So let's take a look at their damage. Again, the only damaging thing that came from this is them. So that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.